Welcome to our channel today. We are recapping the 2023 American sci-fi action and adventure film Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, where an evil man is resurrected from the dead by advanced technology. The daughter of the most powerful man is fighting against him. So do like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now let's dive into it. In a place called the Motherworld, a family with royal ancestry had control for thousands of years. However, their strong desire for control led to them using up everything in their world. To expand their dominance, they sent their armies to conquer other planets, and eventually, the king and queen were killed. The planets they conquered saw this as an opportunity for a rebellion. Senator Belisarius took charge and declared himself the new leader. He then commanded his toughest soldiers to brutally crush any uprising. On a planet called Velt, a small group of farmers was going about their daily routines when they suddenly spotted an Empire ship in the sky. Kora, an orphan of war, immediately recognizes the ship and rushes to ring the town's bell to warn everyone. Sindri, the village leader, gathers the locals for a discussion on the upcoming situation. Gunnar, a farmer, suggests welcoming the soldiers due to the promise of higher grain prices, but Kora strongly opposes, highlighting the Empire's history of taking by force and leaving destruction behind. Amidst the disagreement, the Empire's ships land near the village. Admiral Noble approaches Sindri with a warm greeting, revealing their search for the Bloodaxe siblings' rebel group and their urgent need for food. When Sindri informs him about not having enough fertile land and resources to grow food, Noble, skeptical due to the villagers' apparent health, confronts him. Gunnar intervenes, trying to negotiate a sale, but this angers Noble, who viciously attacks Sindri, ultimately killing him. In an attempt to approach her fallen husband, Sindri's wife faces death at the hands of the guard wielding a blade. After Sindri dies, Noble gives the administration of the village to Gunnar and orders him to prepare enough grain in 10 weeks, and he will collect the entire harvest when he returns, ignoring the villagers' welfare. Noble leaves a delegation led by Faunus behind to monitor the progress. Some soldiers force villagers out of a building they claim as theirs, prompting Private Eris to activate Jimmy, a former royal robot that stopped fighting after the monarchy fell. Despite assisting the soldiers, Marcus tests a rumor by shooting at Jimmy, who refrains from defending himself. Eris intervenes to stop, but Marcus points his gun at him, threatening to end him. However, Faunus steps in, assigning them tasks. Amidst this, Faunus ensures Jimmy's functionality and assigns him to wash off mud by the river. There, Sam, a Velt farm girl, befriends the robot, prompting Jimmy to recount the story of the Empire princess and her tragic fate at the hands of traitors. As Sam befriends Jimmy, gifting him a flower crown that stirs something within him, the villagers convene at the town hall. They decide to demonstrate the value of their harvest to prevent the Empire from harming them and allow them to continue producing food. Despite Kora's frustration at being unheard, she begins packing to leave but is blocked by Hagen, the person who rescued her after her ship crashed. Hagen proposes Kora join the rebels to safeguard the village, but she declines, convinced they stand no chance against the Empire. Later that evening, Marcus and two soldiers abduct Sam for the squad's use, while Kora hears her cries but resists involvement. Eris attempts to defend Sam but is outnumbered. Faunus arrives claiming Sam until Kora intervenes with an axe. Faunus sends his men after her, and initially faking surrender, Kora swiftly incapacitates two soldiers, revealing her fighting skills. She skillfully handles them, utilizing their weapons against them and using distractions like throwing dirt. One by one, Kora engages the soldiers, using precise shots or fierce stabs. When a man aims to shoot her, Eris intervenes, saving her life. Marcus attempts to open fire, but Kora swiftly disarms him and, in a bold move, defeats him with a fatal shot to the head. Now, with Kora and Eris working together, they aim to corner Faunus. However, Faunus holds Sam hostage, making them helpless and unable to act. In a crucial moment, Jimmy appears, ordered by Faunus to eliminate the rebels. Yet, as Jimmy reaches for a weapon, he hesitates, gazes at Sam, and turns against Faunus, killing him instead. Subsequently, Jimmy flees, and just as the townspeople arrive, Kora eliminates a surviving soldier. Asserting her willingness to aid in their fight, Kora pledges to gather more soldiers. Having previously sold some of their harvest to the rebels, Gunnar agrees to accompany her to the city to meet his contact. Before their departure, Hagen presents Kora with a special gun discovered on her crashed ship. Kora and Gunnar journey for a while before making camp at night, prompting Kora to share her harrowing past. When she was just 9 years old, Empire army, led by Belisarius, mercilessly attacked her home planet, resulting in widespread death and devastation. Despite her people's attempts to resist, Belisarius grew increasingly violent. Kora, attempting to defend herself, stole a gun but was discovered by Belisarius. However, she couldn't kill despite pulling the trigger, leading to the tragic loss of her family and her abduction by Belisarius to join the Empire. Under the Empire's custody, Kora was brainwashed into Motherworld culture and became a part of their army. The authorities encouraged soldiers to find love to fuel their dedication, but Kora lost her beloved during the war. Driven by vengeance, she rose to become a commander by the age of 18. Throughout this time, Kora realized she had been a mere pawn, brainwashed into serving the same people responsible for her family's demise. The following day, as Kora and Gunnar arrive in the city, they discover that bounty hunters have captured Gunnar's contact. With no other option, Kora decides they must seek out the legendary General Titus before locating the rebels. Entering a pub, they encounter an offensive alien who mistakes Gunnar for Kora's slave and attempts to purchase him, displaying inappropriate behavior. Upon Kora's insistence of the alien to depart, the situation escalates as he becomes aggressive. Swiftly, Kora overpowers him, hurling him against a table, leaving him to retreat while a mysterious figure named Kai observes from the shadows. Seizing the moment, Kora seeks information about Titus, making a public inquiry. A small alien speaking through a human host reveals that Titus battles in the Colosseum on Pollux, necessitating a ship for travel. However, the previously encountered offensive alien returns with 3 bodyguards, seeking revenge. Amidst the chaos, a shootout ensues in the pub, causing patrons to seek cover while Kora engages in a quick elimination of the bodyguards. Gunnar attempts to confront the offensive alien but struggles, only to be rescued by Kora. As she deals with the final bodyguard, the alien attempts a surprise attack, blocked by Kai, who swiftly eliminates him. Kai then offers his ship to transport Kora and Gunnar to Pollux, accepting their modest payment. During the journey, Kai reveals knowledge of a warrior who might aid them, proposing a stop at another planet beforehand. As Gunnar experiences his first space travel, marveling at the ship's flight through space, aboard the Empire's main ship, Admiral Noble indulges in a smoke through chemical pipes directly connected to his body. Learning of the capture of an informant by bounty hunters, Noble instructs the soldier to bring the captive to him before resuming his interaction with the tentacle creature. Meanwhile, Kora's group arrives at New Wodi, meeting rancher Hickman, who owns a slave named Tarak. Tarak, once a rebel against the Empire, was captured and enslaved. Desiring freedom, Tarak is indebted to Hickman. Hickman proposes a wager. If Tarak can tame the beast called Benes, he earns his freedom. Otherwise, Kora's group becomes slaves to Hickman. They agree, and Tarak approaches the Benes, which violently struggles against its chains. Tarak, in his native tongue, communicates with the Benes, empathizing with their shared experience of being forcibly taken from their homes and chained. Before we proceed to the next half of the movie, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. With gentle words and gestures, Tarak establishes a bond with the Benes and manages to free it from its chains, riding the creature despite initial difficulties. Their flight encounters a few close calls near rocky terrain, with Tarak nearly falling off a cliff at one point. Yet he swiftly recovers, leaping back onto the Benes and eventually achieving a smoother ride as they return safely to the ranch. Impressed by Tarak's skill, Kora decides to accompany Kai to seek more warriors who might assist them. As they enter planet Dagus, they encounter Sword Mistress Nemesis, currently engaged in a personal mission. Nemesis pursues Harmada, a spider-like alien seeking retribution against the Empire for her children's deaths, having also abducted a human child. Despite Nemesis' attempts at reasoning, Harmada remains adamant and attempts an attack. Employing her swords, Nemesis skillfully evades or deflects Harmada's assault, managing to free the kidnapped child. As Gunnar rescues the girl, Harmada injures Nemesis' arm but fails to immobilize her due to Nemesis' mechanical gauntlets. In retaliation, Nemesis disables one of Harmada's legs. In a fierce struggle, Harmada manages to knock Nemesis down once more and attempts to harm Gunnar and the child. Yet Nemesis strikes back, stabbing Harmada's rear and igniting her blades with her gauntlet's fire. Sliding along the ground, Nemesis attacks Harmada's spider body and simultaneously pierces both her humanoid torso and spider form. With the battle concluded, Nemesis joins the group as they depart once more. During a quiet moment, Kora shares more about herself. As Belisarius' adopted daughter, she enjoyed a privileged life and served in the royal guard responsible for protecting a princess gifted with the power to resurrect beings. Kora still bears guilt for being unable to save the princess during the attack. Their journey leads them to Pollux, where they find General Titus in a horrible state, requiring assistance to bathe despite his protests. Titus, once a commander for the Old King, fell into despair after losing his entire army in an ambush when he attempted surrender. Initially reluctant to fight, Titus changes his mind upon Kora's offer of a chance for revenge. As the bounty hunters deliver the rebel contact to Noble, he promises freedom in exchange for information. Learning of the Bloodaxe siblings' refuge under King Levitica and Charon, Noble cruelly ends the informant's life. Soon after, Kora's team arrives in Charon, meeting King Levitica, who agrees to facilitate a meeting with the rebels. The Bloodaxe siblings and the rebel army convene, and Kora urges them to defend her people despite slim odds, emphasizing their history of providing supervision. Darian, one of the siblings, agrees to assist and rallies volunteers from the rebels through a heartfelt speech. A few agree to join him. Departing with their newfound allies, Kai expresses a desire to aid in their fight, but must first fulfill some prior commitments. Kora consents to one final stop before heading home. Shortly after their departure, Noble and his forces find Levitica and devastate his kingdom. Refusing cooperation, Levitica meets his demise at Noble's hands. As the army finishes their destructive task, Noble receives a message pinpointing the rebels' location. Later on, the team reaches Gondival and aids Kai in unloading cargo on a bridge. While observing Kai's interactions with the locals, Kora senses a foreboding sensation. Suddenly, an unseen Empire spacecraft attacks, causing significant damage to their ships. Subsequently, a swarm of robots ambushes the team, resulting in the capture of most members. It's then that Kai reveals his true motives. Knowing Kora's status as a wanted ex-commander with a lucrative bounty on her head, he manipulates her into assembling a group of notorious warriors to surrender them to the Empire for the reward. Before long, Noble and his men arrive, seizing Kora's gun, while Kai persuades Gunnar, positioning him to take action. Kai convinces Gunnar, portraying him as a mere farmer, promising his release if he eliminates Kora. Gunnar pretends compliance, but at the crucial moment frees Kora and redirects his aim towards Kai. Seizing the opportunity, Kora incapacitates a guard to acquire a weapon before seeking refuge as Noble's men begin shooting. Engaging in a desperate retaliation, Kora detonates a box, resulting in a massive explosion that repels her enemies. Taking advantage of the chaos, Gunnar liberates the other warriors, enabling Nemesis to wield her blades in combat. Darien, in a swift move, dispatches a soldier off the bridge and commands his men to gather the surviving ships amid the aftermath of the attack. Amidst the escalating battle, Tarka, Titus, and Gunnar secure firearms, providing cover for Nemesis as she continues her attack. In a crucial moment, Noble commands his concealed spacecraft to reveal itself, initiating an attack on the rebel ships. Determined to protect his comrades, Darien grabs a metal bar, using it as a weapon against soldiers as he fights his way up the bridge and onto the enemy's ship. Despite his efforts, he fails to initially strike the pilot, who retaliates by shooting at Darien. Unfazed, Darien continues, ultimately managing to eliminate the enemy pilot, halting the assault but dying of his injuries in the process. His lifeless body collapses onto the ship's controls, causing it to wobble, falling over towards the bridge. Enraged, Kora abandons her hiding, dashing across the bridge, firing at random soldiers as she advances towards Noble. In an instant, the ship plummets, devastating most of the bridge. Miraculously, Noble saves himself by landing on a floating platform. Suddenly, Kora emerges behind him, initiating a fierce hand-to-hand combat, both fighters unleashing relentless strikes. Amid the intense exchange, Noble delivers a powerful blow, sending Kora hurling off the platform. In a desperate move, Kora manages to grasp a rope just in time to prevent her fall. Subsequently, as Noble attempts to sever the rope, Kora cunningly uses it as a whip, causing Noble to tumble. She swiftly climbs back onto the platform after Noble's fall. In the ongoing struggle, Kora tactically uses the rope to counter Noble's attacks, ultimately breaking it and utilizing a fragment to injure his legs severely. Despite Noble's weakened state, he attempts to continue in the fight, yet Kora breaks his arm and delivers a fatal blow, piercing his chest with his own cane before pushing him off the platform. Afterward, Tarak utilizes more rope, towing the platform to the bridge to rescue Kora. With the team surviving the fight, they depart together, preparing to defend the farming community on Velt in the future. Meanwhile, nearby, Jimmy observes them, adorned with an intriguing crown. Meanwhile, enemy troops retrieve Noble's body, but instead of healing him as the first priority, they opt to integrate him into the Neuralink, revealing his identity as a cyborg. In a submerged state, Noble's consciousness materializes before Belisarius, who scolds him for his shortcomings, repeatedly striking the ice with his cane. Belisarius directs Noble to arrest Kora alive, intending to execute her personally. Belisarius shatters the ice, sending Noble's consciousness back to his physical form. Upon examination, doctors detect no brain activity, necessitating an intense shot to revive Noble, causing him to scream awake. So that was all for today. Please like and comment on your favorite scene from the movie. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more updates. See you next time.